Okay. There we go. Looks like we're working now. Hi, guys. Jacking it solo. Always. Oh my god. Let's do that. Always nerdy. Always. Let me know if the sound is ever too much. I kind of hate this though. Okay. Welcome everyone to me going at it alone, as it were, to solo, but not alone, an instant starship adventure. My camera, my face. How are we feeling tonight? Yeah. Yeah. So tonight I did this. I ran this for myself a couple nights ago, like a week ago. And with the first sheet that I had made, and it worked fine. It worked pretty good, but it didn't have nearly enough like guidance, right? It was like a very open situation. So here we are. So the way we're going to do this is I'm just going to go ahead and roll up a character live, and then we'll take them on a little adventure. Sean, you are you're fantastic. You're fantastic. You the amount of feedback you give. If only everyone was as dedicated to giving feedback. You completely copy edited an adventure for me in the comments section, which I just turned around and fixed, and saved me so much energy. Well, I wasn't gonna do it. No, you're good in my book, and I like the feedback. You know, making these games because I care about them, and because I think they're fun, not just to make them. So yeah, Nerdy and I were literally talking about this the other day. By the way, if y'all don't follow Nerdy on itch, or Nerdy, post your links to your itch. Nerdy's one of my favorite designers. Just has some of the most interesting and thought-provoking takes on games, and is just a cool person. But yeah, so yeah, it's so nice to get feedback at all. So Sean, you were an angel, a little angel baby. I was telling my wife about the other day. It's like, because it makes you want to make more stuff. It makes you want to like stay engaged with it. So also you're smart, so like, it's not like you're giving me dumb feedback or anything. So what we're gonna do is I've got my box right here. Let me draw my pass-through maybe so I can hear my voice a little better. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna roll the character. I did a lot of stuff for this today, but I did not set up. I should have set up a little panel so that we could look at the PDF together. But I've got it open over here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start rolling. Oh, I didn't make an O2 tracker. Okay, well that's what will go in this little box. Here, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Do it live. You never know. I might end up in the void, floating around. So let's go ahead and. Okay. Should we go down a bit? Vibing the aqua. Oh, hello? Okay, lock these assets again. Okay. Yeah, so they are to me too. They've been on my mind in terms of like design. No, this one is if you want to scan the QR code right there, that'll take you to my itch page. It's a 10-page RPG, but it's a multiplayer RPG, but there's a 1-page supplement that gives you all the stuff you need to run solo. And just a quick breakdown of the game is that it's basically a kind of like a derivative of an Into the Odd. Oh, thank you, Sean. It's an Into the Odd style derivative, except it's D6 based instead of D20, and you only have 2 stats. So actually, you have 3 stats. So you have stats, you have brains and brawn, and then you get a stat from your class. And I'm just about to roll the character, so we'll just play, and then as opposed to me just sitting here babbling about the game. But so the first thing I'm going to do is roll roll my class. My class will dictate my stats as well. So I'm gonna roll d6 here. I got a 1, which on this table makes me a pilot. So a pilot. I guess technically the stat is Starship. Okay, and then my brains will be 3, my brawn will be 2, my Starship will be 4. So 2, 4, and then in this game, your stats also act kind of like a Into the Odd or whatever. Your stats act like your HP as well. Oh, thanks, Sean. Yeah. We are big into the horizontal advancement situation. And, you know, some people may not be into that, and you may not play enough to justify that, but I would rather have the option than not, you know? Okay, so those are my stats. This gives me a boon, which I'm just going to put all of the kind of the extra stuff in these boxes down here. So my boon is I get a free Starship action, which is the actions you take during space combat. So I'm just going to put Starship. Starship action. And then maybe I'll bold it since it's yeah, no, I won't. Everything's locked, so I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. And then I also get a Spice Inhaler. Spice Inhaler allows you to succeed on a automatically succeed on a Starship action, but then you reduce a stat by 1 temporarily. Okay. No. I'm unfamiliar with the Oracle mechanic. Thank you. I spent all day making it. What I'm doing actually is that it's broken up into 2 pieces. So the top piece is all like the back piece, and then I have a second screen projected or captured right here, which is directly in Canva, and I have all my assets locked, so I'm actually able to like alter them in real time, which is kind of fun. Okay, that is my starting. So now my starting gear, I get to roll. So I'm going to gain a tool, D3 melee weapon, a void suit, and then I get to roll twice and pick between 2 things. So let's go ahead and throw my void suit on here. Void suit, and then let's go ahead and tool. A pilot. Let's I kind of want something kind of unconventional. I feel like maybe tool. I was looking in my head. It's a hacker pod or Oracle mechanics in general. Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about a specific game. Yeah, I have a couple of oracles. I'm gonna make more. That's kind of why I'm running this live, so I can kind of see where it would be useful to have other oracle mechanics, like tables. Yeah, and I just call them roll tables because I'm a chud. Let's see, and then let's just do some lockpicks. Pilot with lockpicks. And then D3 melee weapon. Maybe just like maybe let's just say it's like a blackjack, just like a little. Oops. That's the problem with doing that way. Hydraulic can opener. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we get it. We get it. This one there. And yeah, it's a can opener, you know, get into anything. Okay. So those are the things, and then yeah, like a little blackjack, just like a little like sap pop you can carry on your person. And I'm gonna roll between 2 choices, 6 and a 3. So I either can pick a med pack. Or a laser blaster. The laser blaster does 1d6 damage, and it has infinite ammo. You don't have to reload it, and you don't have to make sure you have credits to be able to afford ammo. And the med pack lets you heal a stat point. I feel like the med pack would be more useful, but I'm going to pick the laser blaster because You know, you only live to the front. There we go. Put that in there. And that will give me a 1d6. Okay. I guess let's go ahead and get myself a name. Pilot. I'm going to play Archibald. My Archie for short. Okay, now I start with like a 0 credit score because there was something I thought about when I was playing this the other day. Is I realized I didn't give like roll this many, get this many credits, but I really like the idea of starting a campaign solo or otherwise where, especially if it's like you have to have credits in order to pretty much function. Start with nothing. It's a clickety clackety guy, yeah. It's really nice. It's an 8-bit though. It's like an Atari vibe. My blurs. Cool. Relatively new. So, I'm gonna pick my fear, my flaw, and my vice. Your fear, when you face your fear, you have disadvantage. When you lean into your flaw, you get advantage. And by engaging in your vice, during a like for a full cycle, like for a full day, completely heals your stats. It makes sense that the game starts at 0 because you. Yeah, exactly. You get it, Sean. 3. Well, I am afraid of death. My own, someone else's, who knows? And then my flaw, 1. I'm violent. I get advantage when I do that. And then my vice is booze. Classic. Okay. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Okay, everything else here is just rules, which I mostly know because I wrote the thing. Although I don't. It's really easy to forget rules. Put my encounter table over here. So yeah, I think that's it. My friends, we are rolled up. Oh no, I keep doing that. I gotta stop doing that. Gotta stop doing that. He said drunkenly. Exactly. Okay, so I've got here. We'll use the NPC solo page, which I don't have open. Good job, Jack. Real professional, buddy. Okay. So, the first thing we do, and I've got the procedural over here on the side of the screen as to what we do. So, I'm a pilot. I don't have any credit right now. Just no cash. And when you don't have cash, I am going to add something about eventually. I'm probably do like an expanded systems for like the ships themselves, but in the narrative of the story, I need. I'm the only stream you've watched today, nerdy. Going to imagine that we are at a spaceport, so we'll roll for the port. 3. We have when we have pulled up towards Junkers Co-op and Brewery, which sounds like something. I'm imagining a like a settlement built on the side of an asteroid with a massive lots of little like pod buildings that have little like tunnel causeways that connect, kind of spider out from a central building that has a big glass dome and like a greenhouse inside of it. And then each of all these little tunnels, little exterior tunnels that run across the asteroid, go to smaller little compounds. It's all these little compounds that are kind of connected to the main central hub, and everything looks like it's secondhand. A lot of the buildings themselves are just people's ships that they have cannibalized to turn into structures. Pretty much none of them are space worthy. And as the camera is kind of fixated on this asteroid, with this one side of it covered with this settlement, our ship pulls into frame. It is a fairly small, I'd say it's larger than a dogfighter. It basically is a personal transport, would be though. Am I peeking? It has 2 seats up front in the cockpit, and as I'm kind of going in, we see pulling levers and toggles and shutting down the systems that are warning me that we're going towards like a non-standard regulation landing area. And I'll pull out the radio controller, like a little like CB radio, but it's just like it looks like a microphone from like a 1970s game show, just like a long rod. And I'm just gonna kind of lean in, and you see Archibald. He's a man in his late 40s. He's got blonde hair that is slicked back, probably just by hair grease, and it's kind of like curls out at the back. He has a very large mustache, big and curled, and he's wearing his void suit. His getup is like one half of his extreme acclimate suit gear, and then he also has like a flight jacket on over that. His ship does not have artificial gravity, so he's strapped in, and you can see him, like, he'll grab a bag of instant coffee that he's drinking like a Capri Sun, and he'll say, "Well, hello there. This is your captain speaking. Just a little joke there, boys." And there's silence on the radio. Excuse me. This is the 4445 Rapscallion, looking for permission to land. Silence again. I let go of the speaker, or the microphone, and it kind of trails away. And I've never been here before, so I think it might be kind of fun to go ahead and set our first objective as get permission to land. Radio's dead. It could be that my it's not working on my end, Go ahead, roll a d6. That's going to tell me how many scenes it's going to take for us to resolve this action. 3. As we go through the scene, I'll take those down. All right. I scan around the cockpit. At this point, you can see that there are a bunch of... on one side of the wall, there is a mesh bag that is just stuffed with one-time use, like disposable convenience store pit stop booze. The equivalent of like Deep Space Natty Lights, but higher octane. It's clear to us, the viewer, that Archibald is getting irritated. He hasn't had a drink in a while. There's clearly no kind of like there's a like a tiny walk-in like airplane style latrine, water closet in this little ship of mine, but there's no shower. Looks like he's out of rations, out of food, and looks like he's out of luck right now. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for our encounter. So we roll 2d6. It's a 7. So the way this encounter system works is that you look at the dice. If they are both even, odd, or split, it determines what type of thing you encounter. So right now I have an even, a 2, and a 5, so they are split. And then we look at the numbers. It's either an obstacle or a resource. Then we look at the numbers, and we add them together. And a 7 means that it is a minor obstacle. I'll tell you what, looking around here, we are just going to so we got to set up our stakes. So no one's responding. There doesn't seem to be any activity like outward, like there's no ships going up and down, back and forth, and I feel like Archibald's probably just a little too irate to really be taking in the scene, but I kind of feel like there's something either wrong down there, something's going on, or these people are responding to something. Like I just stumbled upon something else that's happening. I'm gonna roll brains and see how if we can resolve this scene of like what he's trying to do, and that will lead us into action, either going down and trying to land and break in, or trying to scan around. I'm gonna roll brains. I'm gonna set the consequences. If I fail the roll, I'm irate, I'm in withdrawals, I'm going to just take my ship down to the nearest like landing pad, force my way in to this place. Their systems must be down. I don't have time for this. Or if I succeed, I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to look around and see if there are more clues. So I'll roll a d6 against my brains. So I want to roll a 3 or lower against my current total. Hey, I rolled a 3. I wish I could share the rolls. Maybe next time. Well, something don't seem right here. Look around. I'm going to take the ship, check the gauge, fuel gauge. My fuel rods are incredibly low. Right now, I'm in a situation where I can get enough movement to move with inertia. That's about it. So I kind of push forward on my dual steering controls, and the pitch is going to shift forward, and we're going to get a better view of the asteroid as it kind of as we go from being like above it to parallel to it. And I just kind of move my way around. This is going to move us into our next scene. We're going to cut. I'm going to be like looking into the dome where all the people are, getting really close to the dome. It's glass. It's not really glass. It's like some sort of like super thick plastic, and as a result, it's scratched up from meteorites and space trash and stuff like that, and probably not was never like fully transparent to begin with. I think I'm gonna have to get really close to it in order to see what's going on inside this place. So I'm gonna roll a starship for this next scene. So we'll go ahead, move these back up here, and I'm gonna roll starship, and that's a 4 or lower. Okay. Oh, I rolled a 5. I'm supposed to set up the consequences before I do the thing. If I rolled low enough, I would be able to see what's happening in there. I rolled a 5. I'm not any closer to understanding, and since I rolled a 5, I get close to the side of it. I'm doing a good job doing the piloting, but because it's such intricate work and I don't have my full like gyro impulse system like ready to go, I'm having to do little to get into position. It's it involves a little bit of math as well. I've got a little, and I'm so busy doing that, I don't notice that a ship has pulled out from behind the far side of the starbase, around the other side. So I've kind of come here, and sorry, I had it like this before, didn't I? Yeah. So the ship is close to it, and then on the other side here, kind of tucking around, a slightly larger ship, and a ship that has markings on it that would indicate that some sort of like territorial like space gang or pirates, whatever you want to slice that up. And I don't see them, so I am going to go ahead, and since I failed, I pick a consequence here. I just think for fun and to show off the system a little bit, we're going to go straight into combat. And as that happens, since I failed the roll, they have ambushed me technically, which means they get to go first. So right now we're going to determine danger. It's our first mission. It's our first thing we're doing. Don't want to die right away. So I'm going to say that this is a small band of space pirates, and that there's probably some of them on the inside of the base. So this is a ship that's only got part of its crew. So we are going to roll 1d6 for this ship. This ship will roll a d6 when it attacks. It is a low threat. Oh, sorry. That's not. We're determining how many hit points it has right now. So, okay. It only has 2 hit points. So, I guess I can mark that down. I didn't really make a place to do that kind of math. Let me just grab a notebook. Let me just go watch the notebook real quick. See what Ryan Gosling has to say about it. Okay. 2 hit points. Alright, so they're going to get the first roll on me. There is a table in the game that allows you to just randomize attacks. I was inspired by the Aliens RPG and by Dragonbane, who I think are the same designer, at least those like core systems. And this makes it so that you can just roll a d6 and see what it does. Now, by doing this, I am opening myself up to having the ship deal 3d6 damage at me. Or I could just do it by range. Let's just do it by range. Let's not. He's right behind me, so it is going to be 3d6 either way. Okay, well, here I am trying to rule in my own favor. So, without provocation, without warning, the ship comes around. It's slightly larger. It has a top-mounted Gatling blaster that literally has like a dome on it, and we see as the camera pans back, guy's in a leather jacket, spikes, and he's got like a World War II looking style like gas mask with like spikes all the way down the helmet, and he's kind of lining up the sights on me. And in this game, attacks hit you every time unless you dodge. But unfortunately, I rolled so low that I don't know that he's here. So I cannot dodge this attack. He is within boarding range, so I'll go ahead and throw the ship range here. So he's within boarding range. I will call it hailing range. Boarding range, I feel like you would get close enough, they would actually board. Yeah, no, they can attack. I said they were right on me. Let's just play it. So it's 3d6. Oof. Well, that's not good. 6, 10. And that, my friends, is how you go to 0 HP in your first scene. Very cool. If I'd had one more. So my starship goes down. We just see the of like that laser Gatling start to like ramp up, and then it just starts to pepper the rapscallion, just ripping holes in it. I am thrown, like the force is so immense. I'm gonna go ahead, just because it's kind of fun to immediately lose your vehicle. That's a really fun consequence, and sets up for some interesting play. The rapscallion is just ripped to shreds, which was probably the right choice. I think that the rapscallion was small and nimble and well armed, so I think that like if I'd had a chance to respond, I probably could have taken them. So they see my ship and they go, and like I said, I'm already wearing like my void suit, so as soon as I get knocked out of the ship, you see Archibald like tumble forward, and he's like, oh shit, as the air is pulled out and he can't speak anymore. As he's falling forward for half a moment, it's kind of like almost serene, because we just see the explosion, we don't hear any sound. And as he's going forward, his helmet is kind of like thrust in front of him, kind of like with an umbilical cord that like looks away, and he's like reaching towards it. And as it's sci-fi action, as his face starts to like freeze up, he is able to just throw on the helmet and just in time. And then I turn around, and as I turn around, a piece of the ship's debris that was already like in a spin, like maybe as I'm putting on the helmet, we can see it, the camera coming towards the camera and towards Archibald, and he just like turns around and then just gets completely leveled. And that is going to end this scene and complete this objective, really roundabout way, but permission to land. So in our system here, if you go to 0 HP, you are if all your stats are taken to 0 in space combat, you are removed from the fiction. I specifically use the language "removed from the fiction" because thanks, Dirty. Because death is a fine outcome. Can be an interesting outcome, but I like the idea that I will stake escalation. You know, I want things to keep rolling. So, as I see it, I think we've stumbled upon this asteroid as it's been this little like co-op town. I think these are really peaceful people who let people in and like share their fuel resources and whatnot. And this small band of raiders have come by and have decided that they're going to take up camp here, and probably did a little bit of like a Trojan horse situation, like, hey, we need help, or you know, kind of pulled on their heartstrings. Archie is going to wake up in one cycle, a cycle of rest. This music is too hopeful. Okay. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wake up in a storage closet. My void suit is still on me because it was like my clothes, but my helmet and my gloves have been taken, so I can't make a seal with it right now. So what I'm gonna do is, next to my void suit, I'm gonna put no use until I find those items. I also am just going to go ahead and say they took the spice inhaler because it's worth money, and the hydraulic can opener is a weapon, and they definitely took my blaster. So we're going to start here. Let's see. So now, new objective. I'm going to have to get out of this closet. Let's not be so specific because I'm going to roll d6 for number of scenes. So get out of the closet is a good scene. Let's say find gear and new ship. Yeah, happy Pride. Happy Pride, everybody. Happy fucking Pride. These pirates, real toxic straight guys. So we can just beat them up. No problem. Okay. I say a lot, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I don't have a melee weapon right now. And I don't have... coming out of the closet. Yeah, that's fair. It's a good joke. Let's see. I didn't die. Very gay. You're very gay indeed. Some might say the most. Affectionate. Okay, so yeah, I think that the fear of death is less like the fear that I'm gonna die, and more like I don't like to see like dead things. Is that interesting though? Fear of death. No, let's make it like selfish and like tiny, right? Let's make it like he's scared of dying, doesn't have a weapon, doesn't have any of his stuff. So probably if I end up like encountering anybody without without a proper weapon. Game absorption, yeah, for sure. Without a proper weapon, I believe that he'll have disadvantage because his fear of death. So inside the closet, and you can tell it's a closet because there is a mop bucket and like cleaning supplies. There is also in that mop bucket, there's like excrement. I like the idea that they've been keeping people inside this closet as a brig. They don't really have anything. Thanks, Dirty. Yeah, shit bucket. Hey, Abel. Yes, a shit bucket. And Archibald's gonna kind of get up. His hands are bound with zip ties. I just got hit like a fucking ton of bricks. All right, where the hell am I? And he's gonna look around. We are going to roll to see if we can find any gear in here, my friends. Anything that can be used as gear. So this is definitely going to be a brain situation, because if I don't have a weapon to face these foes, I'm going to make all those attacks at disadvantage. And I'm not in a danger zone right now, so if I fail this roll, if I succeed this roll, I'm going to find something sharp that can cut my bindings and that I can use as a weapon. If I fail this roll, I'm going to make noise, and someone's going to show up as a result. So I have to roll a 1 on my brains. It's not looking good. A 3. I see a pipe up at the top of the ceiling that is broken, and it looks like if I were to put enough weight on it, like catch it with the ties, that not only would it cut the ties, and what's the Blink one? No, the Semisonic lyric. Cut ties, all the lies you've been living in. You cut the ties, and the pipe would like break, and that would give me like a sharp pipe. So I'm gonna, with my hands bound up, move over the shit bucket, and then put a box of like recycled toiletries, like deep space crap, like on top of this, and make this very precarious ladder. And I wish you would step out from that ledge, my friend. My kid's trying to go to sleep, otherwise I would sing much louder. So you're very lucky right now. And Archibald climbs up the best he can, using his arms in this kind of like wiggle worm way, and he's going to be able to get up there. It was find gear and new shit, so I was supposed to roll for scenes. Okay, it's only going to take 2 scenes to find new gear. And I meant to write ship, not shit. So 2 scenes. And mind you, the objectives are just the direction we're going. Doesn't mean I'm guaranteed to get those things at the end of those 2 scenes. As a matter of fact, if I get all the way to the end of those scenes and I don't have those new things, I think that means that the fiction's telling me that those things aren't available to me in this current state. I have to figure out a different mode to do this with. So I get up there, and he gets up, and then he leaps to get onto the pipe, and as he does, the box and the shit bucket all fall over, and he catches the pipe, I think, but it does not cut the ties, and instead kind of just like it bends like it looked like it would, like it's got this like kink in it that is ring, but it just swings me all the way towards the door, which I slam into. And I'm gonna fall down and just land in a pile of someone else's shit, because that's how that goes. When that happens, a voice on the other side of the door starts to speak. Let's roll a reaction roll. Shitty situation. Let's roll an action roll. Sorry, a reaction roll instead of an encounter. I think having since I dictated that there would be someone who would find me. Now we're just going to see what the timbre of that NPC is. That's 2d6 for the reaction. That's a 5, which is hostile. So if I had rolled higher, maybe someone helpful. But instead, it sounds like there was somebody standing out that door, guarding me. We hear the voice on the other side. Hey, shut that shit down in there. What are you making all a ruckus for? And I'm going to kind of in a soft, broken voice, like, I think I've broken a rib. Hey, brother, can you help a guy out? And we'll go ahead and tick off 1 as the door opens. I am once again going to... I'm violent. And I get advantage if I lean into it, which will cancel my disadvantage for not having a weapon. So I am going to, as you're hearing that like, hey brother, please, I think I might have punctured a lung. We see the guard on the other side. More of these like deep space punkers. He's wearing like a leather void suit jacket, and he's got like almost like a motorcycle helmet on with like just like Joel Schumacher style neon Batman and Robin gang paint. I don't know if anyone gets that reference, but it's like it's a skull, but it's like it's so neon that it's I think it looks cool, but it's more like campy than it would be like threatening. And he's got some sort of like a rifle, like a phase rifle. And as he's kind of like looking the way, you know, NPC bad guys do as they're getting ready, the camera cuts back inside, and Archibald is standing on the one side of the door. And when I fell and broke the mop, I think they would have broken it in half, and I think I've got a little like mop handle weapon right there, which will deal 1 damage. And I'm still going to roll a d6 with it, and if I roll a 1, it will break forever. So I'll do a 1 and 6. So this guy, he's got the keys. It's maybe a key card situation, right? He just and kicks the door open, and then slowly kind of walks in. And when he does, he looks down and he sees all the shit water. He's like, "Ugh, disgust!" And then I'm just gonna spring out from behind like a coat rack or whatever, and we are going to. Gonna roll our brains. Sorry, our brawn. I have a weapon now. I've given myself a weapon. So this is how it works, right? You just kind of go, okay, well that feels right that I should have a weapon there because I described those things. I wasn't planning on putting a mop in the room to turn it into a weapon. So I think that's fair. So I am going to get advantage on this roll because I am armed and I am being violent, which is my flaw. And I need a 1, and I'll remind everyone that if it's a 1, it is critical as well. 1s are criticals. So, which means I need to do 6. We'll call this 6. We'll just do, instead of 1 and 6, we'll just do just like a nat 6 break situation on that. Okay. So Yeah, nerdy approves. All right, 2d6. Get that one. Oh no, I have to set the stakes before I do that. Consequences. I am already in combat. Then I probably just will take damage, which means I'll be knocked back out. Outside of combat, you outside of spaceship combat, if any of your stats get reduced to 0, you get knocked out because it's a team-based game, and I have yet to recruit my NPC follower yet, which we're getting to. I think that that this is an interesting way to like be partnered up with someone maybe, and like become crew members that way. So, and how long have we been playing? Have we been playing more than a half hour? Means I get an advancement. But we'll do that in a minute. Okay, so the stakes are I take damage. So I'm just going to keep that roll. I failed both of those rolls. I leap at him. The gun is too high up to... I could have taken a different action, though. I could have taken a smarter action. I think we just stick with what's happening right now. Worst case scenario, I get knocked out again. That's kind of fine. So I'm gonna miss that roll, and there's no need for him to roll, right? No, you know what I'll do? I'll roll on the random table, the random encounter, random adversary table. That way we can kind of randomize this stuff. If I get any of the attack effects, I'm knocked back out again. So we are rolling to see what this guy does. Yeah. I jump out. I rolled a 6. I jump out. And he goes, and there's this blaster hitting the top of the closet, and me knocking him to the ground and a sliding in the sludge, and me with this basically like a vampire hunter's stake, like trying to like stab at this guy, and he's knocking it back with his rifle. It's a power attack is what a 6 is. So I imagine actually instead of it being like he does a big power attack, it's like I'm trying to hit him with this fucking wooden stake, and he keeps taking his phase rifle to like bat it back, and I think I just hit the power cell, and it does 3d6 damage. We'll roll just to see how much damage it is, because that's pretty funny, considering that I have no hit points left. Yeah, it's, I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, so way more than any one of my stats. So that is going to knock me back down in all of my stats. And the explosion of that fusion cell is going to knock him out too. So that is we both get knocked out. I have one more scene to find gear and a new ship, and I think that it might be kind of fun if we introduce our NPC this way. I'm gonna roll on the encounter table, and if it is if it's friendly, it'll be someone who's like come to my rescue. Maybe they'll probably perform an aid to, like, with a med pack to wake me up. If I get a hostile or a bad a bad encounter, yeah, I'm just going to be like waking back up in a much more precarious situation, much more dangerous, and I will be in a danger zone then, and death might be on the table. Archibald might be close to death. So we are going to roll. Is how competent the people. Yeah, exactly. Interesting choice. Because if it had been one, you know, I'd still have a couple of points back. I'm in real bad shape. My mustache is badly burned. Okay. 2d6. Get my reaction table over here. Oh, that's good. High numbers are good. They are... we're just going to go for reaction. Because that gives me hostile to friendly. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's friendly NPC. / useful resource. I think that... Here, let me look at my other sheet. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll for my new friend. I'm going to add an NPC. Even though I don't have the CR requirements for them, I'm going to give this person the second in command talent, which means they'll never leave my character's side regardless of my CR. So I'm bringing them in that way, and that will kind of justify me taking that talent. And I'm getting my Chewbacca or my number 2 style character right now. So we are going to roll for the type of person they are. Combination of things. We're going to roll class just to see what kind of help define what they are. So it's 1d6. So 5. That is a Sidroid, I think. Cool. You get a robot. Hey. That's very fun. That means he gets a cybernetic action, potentially. Must be busted, because he's just loyal right now. So, what we're going to do. This thing, when it finds me, when this robot finds me, it is going to have some stuff with it, right? For whatever reason, it's not happy with the situation. Maybe things are really bad in this base. Maybe all the people are dead. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But it is going to give me a credit score to start with, because I need a credit score in order to give this person more talents. So whatever gear it had with me, with it is kind of represented that way. I'm not going to give myself another weapon or anything yet. I think that'd be more fun to have to collect it and figure things out. I have a second set of stats right now. So this guy's loyalty is equal to the score at which I got him. He doesn't know me. That means his loyalty is a 1. Let's roll, or its name. Let's roll on the people table. Friendly. Has a nasty secret. Is well connected. Let's name this robot Helper. It's not at all ominous. It's kind of like a Chappie style, kind of like TV headed robot. I have a little TV head guy on my sheet over here. I like the idea of just like Saga. I didn't read all of Saga, but I really like the way that those TV headed dudes look. Hello, I am Helper. Come with me if you want to live. And its loyalty is a 1. And its talents are second in command. So it won't leave me. And let's roll it into wild card table. 5. Oh, fun. Helper is secretly connected to an antagonist and sought me out under false pretenses. Oh, that's very fun. So I can activate a wild card in the fiction to basically initiate a swan song for an NPC that will make them potentially leave the game. And when they do, I get an advancement, and I have the opportunity to get 2 advancements. And also, I just wanted to have like a way for NPCs to have some narrative like built into them. So this is interesting. This, all of a sudden, we now know that He is like essentially like a double agent. Agnet. Interesting, interesting. Okay. And when I wake up, I am on Helper's back. Like, he's got me fireman style. He's a full synthetic. He's like 95% inorganic material. All the robots have a little bit of like, they have some organs in a way, as a way to like keep them. Basically, I wanted to be able to have a category that was both cyborgs and robots, and to kind of make them indistinguishable in the fiction, as if the transhuman people are just like their own like class of people. It doesn't matter if you're like an AI synthetic person, or if you are a person who is just becoming transhumanist. So he's running. We're gonna change this from find gear to and get the ship to steal the ship, and we are going to, I'll leave that there because we're just gonna roll a d6. 3. So we have 3 scenes, and in the third scene we're allowed to uncover the ship. That will get us there. I am at 0 HP. We are going to go ahead and give Helper that med kit. Let's build it into him. Maybe he's got like, they're not really defibrillators, but it's some sort of, sci-fi shocker pads. And that will be a brain save. It's just against his loyalty. It's not super helpful in this situation because he's going to fail it. Interesting. Because his credit score is only... Okay, here's what we're going to have to do, kids. 1 is too low for this scenario to even make sense. So he's going to have enough. And he was brought here. We now know that whatever this thing was, maybe it's connected to me, but this guy, however he's connected to this situation, wanted to find me, and finding me in this way is very helpful. So let's go ahead and let's retcon what I just said. We're going to give him a credit score 3. Give me a credit score 3. He's got enough. He's very convenient, right? This robot shows up to help me. He is going to roll on his med kit, and he rolled against the 3. He rolled a 2, so I get some stats back. I get 1 stat point back. That's so funny. We gotta go drinking. That's the let's put it in Starship. This is dubious, friends. This is dubious. Okay, so we're running, and now we are going to roll on our encounter table to see what we get. It is split and it is high. So we are going to find a resource. Hell yes. We get a useful resource because it is a 9 to 12. Useful resource. Then cool. We see Helper trying to defib me back, and it's like just enough to wake me up, and then I go black back out, and he's running down the hallway with me on his back, and I'll wake up for a moment, and we'll just have these like POV shots of me like looking down at the ground, and like the eyes on the camera lenses like opening and closing, and then he will like round a corner, and there will be some of those gangoons just like there, and we'll just see like, there they are, get them, and like start to shoot. And so he is going to turn, and Helper just like leaps through one of the biome walls, just like these junk ship corridors, and when he does that, he rips through the metal like it's tinfoil, and his feet are going to have little spikes, like little almost like cleat style, pop out, and he's literally just like walking through the space, walking through space from the exterior of the asteroid, and these goons, a couple of them are just gonna get sucked out as that place depressurizes. He walks over, and the camera, he turns back to look, and that puts Archibald right in front of the camera, like his face like this, and he's once again no helmet in space. I think that's so funny, as he's just like, and then turns back, and Helper looks around, his little TV head, a question mark kind of like pops up like he's looking for something, and then an exclamation point, and the Metal Gear Solid whack sound as he sees what he needs. A helpful resource. We cut to the interior. That's going to end that scene. I'm just going to let Helper kind of ride that scene, Deus Ex Machina style. I like it better when it goes from the other end there. We're going to start in a dark room. The next scene, in a dark room, and the lights start to flicker on as a door. We see like the kind of like as the lights flicker on, we see a door with a red and green like airlock symbol. So the door opens up and this room powers on, and Helper's going to slam me down on this table and pull over this machine with this like translucent purplish liquid in it, and he's going to look down at me and say, new self friend, you are dying. Helper will help. Stay tuned. Do not reboot this program. Do not shut down the power. And he's looking around, and he's going to grab this very long syringe that's attached to the hose of this thing, and is going to helpful resource, just like straight up like Star Wars style Bacta, just healing juice, right? Helpful resource. It wasn't maximum there, so I think this is a pretty good resource. I'm not going to give myself too many dice on this. What I'm going to do in this rare instance is I'm going to roll a d6 plus 1, so I have the chance of healing 7 or 2. Okay, 5 on the dice, 6, so I have 6 points to distribute amongst my things here. Let's go ahead and technically I need to put them all in here to no longer be out of the fiction. Basically, I can act again now that I have at least 1 in my stats there. That is 1, 2, 3, and I still have 3 more points. Let's go ahead and just bump Starship back up. That should be fine. Okay. Archibald like jumps forward and says, "Oh, fuck, and he takes the needle out of his chest and he says, "You stabbed me." And Helper kind of turns and says, "I was helping. If you'd like, I could take it back out." And he, no, it's fine. Archibald, nice to meet you. Helper kind of looks at him, looks at his hand, and gives it a shake. He says, "I am Helper. I am here to help." Oh, that's not ominous at all. All right. What are we doing? And then he looks around the space. Useful resources. I feel like we've already used the useful resource of this space, and it actually behooves me to move to the next scene because that's where I can find a ship. So instead of doing any rolls in this space, having just returned to the action, we're going to move to the next scene. The next scene, we're going to basically start in on a hangar. Now, when we get there, I'm going to roll just a reaction this time, not the encounter itself. If it is hostile, there are dudes there. we're going to fight them. We're going to try to get on a ship and get out of there. If it is indifferent, it's going to seem cool at the very least at the beginning. There's going to be like nobody inside the space, and we'll keep checking. As a matter of fact, we'll do if it's hostile, there are a handful of bad guys. We got to fight them. I'll say D3 bad guys, and if it is neutral, no one's there, but we're going to enter a danger zone, which means anytime I fail a check, I will lose HP. I'll lose a stat. And if it's successful, then we're going to find people there or the ship right off the bat, if it's a friendly resource. So roll a 5, which is hostile. So shouldn't I have one more point of healing starship? Sorry. Oh yeah. Cool. Let's put it in brawn. It's probably gonna need it for shooting around. Thanks, Nerdy. Nerdy's got Archibald's back. And then we're gonna round out this scene, and I'm gonna go take a quick 5 or 10. Use the PT room and other things. Okay. So we go to the hangar. We get up to the door, and we hear yelling on the other side of the door. Helper puts his hand on the door. He's got like a TV, but he's got antennas on the side, like fully FLCL, fully Cooley, and they give a little bit of an emote whenever he's like looking around. And when he looks at me, he puts his hand up to where his mouth would be, and on his readout screen is kind of like silhouettes of figures with guns, but imagine they're like icons, like kind of cutesy corporate icons, like with a question mark. Like he's like, there are guys, I don't know how many there are. We're gonna roll a D3 to see how many are inside the room. I rolled a 1, so there's one dude. So the yelling is this guy going, hug at this door. Yeah, go out that way. They couldn't have gone far. The goddamn robot got loose. I knew we should have ripped its circuits out. Shut up, Skaz. And they're just, barking at each other. And once we hear them go away, we are going to open the door. Helper hits the control panel, and instead of it like Star Trek style opening up, it just pops a little bit, and Archibald looks up at him like, okay, I see what you do, and he's going to put his fingers between the door and slide it in. And when he does, we'll cut to like kind of like a shaky cam, first person view, peeking through the slat in the door, not the slat, but the slit in the door, and we'll see. Come on, music, what's happening here? We see this guy. He has a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it, and then that wire in the barbed wire wrapped into it is actual coiled copper wire, and on his back, like a fanny pack, is a small, it's not a car battery, but it's like, the analog of this, like a little power cell, and it kind of sparks, and he's kind of walking around, and he's like, this job's more trouble than it's worth, and kind of like smacking stuff as he does. Sparks fly off of it. We can see that the baseball bat's electrified. Helper looks at me, and I look at him, and do a little bit of like Archibald doesn't know SWAT language, can't do like that sign language, but is like telling him, and Helper kind of cocks his head, and he just doesn't understand, and it just kind of like sneaks into the room. That was enough to be stealthy, but he doesn't know what Archibald wants. Archibald rolls his eyes. And then they basically are going to like flank this room, get behind some boxes and crates that are there, and then there is this ship. It is an old, decommissioned transport ship. It has a weapon, but it's not very, not super agile. It's not a. It can carry people. That's about it. And Archibald goes, "Oh man, what a hunk of junk." Archibald, by the way, has a black eye, and I think he's missing a tooth. That's kind of fun too. And he says, "What a hunk of junk." And he looks over, and there's a reflective piece of metal, and he sees his own face, and he's like, "Well, beggars and choosers and all that." And he's like, "Is there any weapons around here?" So now we are in a danger zone. I do have an NPC with me, which means I get to have it take some actions. Helper on his turn can attack. Now in this system, the same way monsters just attack and hit and do damage, players have to roll, because I like the friction of players missing attacks, because the stakes are things get worse, not necessarily you just like die, but the NPCs just deal damage. So let's determine before they do anything. We get to go first because we weren't ambushed. Let's determine how many hit points this guy has. Adversaries in combat have 1d6 hit points for each player. Okay, cool. This guy has 2 hit points. So 2 good whacks, and we'll get this guy. Archibald's like looking back at his face, well, beggars and choosers and all that. It's like, are there any weapons? And as he's looking around, he looks over. He just sees Helper stand up. Helper is easily 6.5, 7 feet tall when he's like all the way up. He just stands up and like walks towards the guy. And the guy with the baseball bat goes, he's like, what the? He just like turns around, and before he can even respond, Helper just goes for a punch. He's going to deal at least 1 damage. If he deals 2 or more, this guy's just cold cock knocked out. He deals 1 damage, and this guy goes, "What the fuck?" The robot's fist goes directly through his flight. He is like a Top Gun style flight helmet. Punctures it and pulls on the side of the helmet and like slings him around. And Archibald's like, what the fuck, Helper? What? Wait for the signal. Helper says, "This is the signal." As he like swings him across the way, the guy goes flying. Archibald's gonna look at the dude on the ground, look at the ship, and he's just gonna sprint to the ship. I don't know why he would attack. He's violent. He's been beat up. Man, it would be smart for him to run to the ship. But I'm going to lean into his flaw. And that's going to give him an advantage on attacks. And this guy does have a weapon on him. So maybe Archibald will get the cool... my dog is chomping around. Maybe Archibald will get the cool baseball bat. Okay, so he is going to... He's just running. He still has this this stick of wood, and he is going to... We're in a danger zone right now, so if he fails this roll, he takes a point of damage. And he is going to roll his bronze. And babes, he rolled a 2. So he comes in, and he stabs for 1 damage, and right in this guy's the hole that Helper made. Oh, I got advantage. Let's see if I get a 1. 2 both times. Okay. Cool. And with that, we are going to smash cut to inside the ship with Archibald starting the boot up sequence. Basically, like, I imagine all the ships, instead of having like keys or key cards, have specific priming sequences, and you just have to kind of like like find manuals and like try to figure out how you. So he's trying to get this going. We're gonna roll Starship to see if he can start this ship. He will take damage. We are in a danger zone right now. There are people coming. If he fails, there will also be the complication of more dudes showing up. That is a critical fail. So we are going to decrease our starship by 1. Fuck. He is going to like yell that out, and as he does, Helper's like getting into the ship, and he drops the baseball bat and the harness. He's like, "This seemed helpful," and he says, "More bad guys." He points out the forward window. He's like, "I know." He's gonna say, "Get to the turret," and Helper looks around and like hops in the seat next to him, and it's gonna pull up. All the ships have weapons. They all kind of do the same amount of damage. That's not really represented, but this is just like the most self-defense-y. It's not a big cannon. It's just like one forward little pistol that kind of drops out that can fire a couple rounds, just like a little phase blaster. And Archie gets a free. So we're gonna have those guys come in. That was Archie's first his action on this turn. He gets a free starship action because he's in a ship. So we are going to. Oh, this is fun. Starship action. We're gonna use those guns. That's what we're gonna do, kids. Yeah. So he's going to use the laser turrets. Gonna make a save. On a success, he will deal the damage. In success, he's going to use the ship's weapons, blow them up. Let's go ahead and figure out how much HP these guys have apiece. They each have 1 HP. All right, got to roll a 3. Rolled a 3. We just see the lasers across there. We are in close range, which means we're rolling 3d6 damage, which means it's impossible that I cannot roll lower than the amount of guys there. So we'll roll for fun. We'll see how much damage we do to them. We completely eviscerate them. And these guys just get riddled with phaser rifle, phase blast, and we're just gonna smash cut to this ship that looks like almost like a space semi, pulling out of the dock that it's in. This is like an engineering bay. This ship is like half broken, and as it's pulling out, there's still like cables and stuff, and we can see them like the tethers kind of snapping as it kind of careens out of the space and away from the asteroid. It's at this point we'll see Archibald, like as we're getting some speed behind us. Helper looks over and says, "I'm very happy you came along. I tried to help the people of the co-op, but I could not. They were unhelpable." And he starts clicking, like going back to things, basically implying that before we even got there, this place had been overrun by this gang, and that all the people there have been dead or been taken away. That is basically just a hideout for these gang members right now. And with that, we'll see them just push off. And I think that's probably, I know it's going to take a break, but I feel like that's a really good ending point for a session, for a solo session. We played for almost maybe like an hour and a half. And yeah, if we got into anything else, it would probably be like another whole ordeal. So we're off in space, and next time I do this, we can just start back up with the next place we land. Yeah. I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and take my advancement. I am just going to increase my brains to 4. We are going to be looking for a port of harbor next time we play, not conflict. I gotta go blow off steam. I'm not going to let them. We'll end the cycle between now and then. So next time we play, he'll be at 3, and that will be at 4. So we're doing. Oh, bronze can't go up to 2. Okay, it's not too bad. Not too bad. And yeah, got a little bit of credit right there. Obviously, there was no payment in that, and it kind of came with the robot. I think that's kind of perfect. Kind of works out. Still kind of scraping by, but enough. Got a ship. Now the ship is going to be registered as stolen, or it's going to have its own issues coming up. But yeah, I feel pretty good about that. That was very fun. Thank you for hanging out with me while I pretended to be a dude and his robot friend. That is, of course, my dream. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Establishing a bit of world detail. Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be anything. This game could be. There was one dude who I can't remember his username, but he did a review of it, and he saw the psionic class and immediately thought Jedi, which is really interesting. Because when I wrote that, I was thinking outsider. I was thinking like an alien, like a Martian Manhunter. Like I wanted an alien race. An outsider just sounded cool because it's fake and you can do it. And I love that he projected Jedi on it. And it comes with a beam weapon, which in my head was like a beam rifle, but he saw beam whatever and thought that it was a laser sword, and that's super cool. So I think that it could be at any level. I like a retro cassette futurism kind of vibe for all my sci-fi. But yeah, that was fun. That worked pretty well. It does require a lot of imagination on the part of the player. I am definitely going to make some more like Oracle roll tables. I'm going to make like a whole space station add-on. So I do want to add some more support to make that easier. But I also do like I want to play a game where like I am GMing the characters. You know what I mean? Like I want to present options and build the world, and I don't want everything to just be like, what is this room like? What is this room like? Or what is this like? And I didn't really want a journaling game. I wanted something that had at some point, Nerdy and I think I've mentioned this to you, Nerdy. I really want to make a journaling solo game that requires you to use social media. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, that worked really well. I had a good time. Well, thank you so much for hanging out, guys. I'm gonna go be a normal person for a little while, and I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And I'll probably do this again in the future. And we'll pick up from where we are if you're interested in the events of Archibald and Helper. Archie. He's Matthew McConaughey. All right. All right. Night, homies. Thank you.